Hello and welcome to AmassGames. Nearly there, this is almost the top 100 board games of all time, based on the 1500 that I've played. Today I'm bringing you 125 to 101 and includes promos and expansions because sometimes they're better than playing another game. And here we go. So When I Dream. When I Dream is a kind of a party game, definitely, and it's a game I find really interesting. It involves memory as well, which I think for dreams makes a lot of sense. And what you're trying to do is you're going to be having this beautiful kind of construction, which basically represents your dream, and you're going to have to try and describe these words to people. It is a crucial thing. So the other end of it is also going to have a word, and if I go into a picture like this, you'll see a bit of detail. So you could either be the bogeyman, the sandman, or the fairy. Depending on who you are, you're looking to try and get the words correctly or get it incorrectly. So going back to that planet picture, I might be on that fairy team, a good team, and I might be saying something like world or solar system or, something like the word planet in it. If I was the bogeyman, I could say earth. Well, I might not. I could say earth and then say soil, and people say mud. So you basically want to throw them off. So saying earth could be quite a good thing, could be quite a bad thing, because they might misunderstand. So if you're the bogeyman first, you could say something like soil. Then if someone says earth, then you've really thrown them a bit. So it'd be interesting how you can take that back again. So ultimately, it's going to go around at the end of the sound timer. You're going to try and figure out how many of those words from what you've heard do you think is correct. And you'll be chucking out answers saying planet and, I don't know, mud and stuff. And you won't know if it's right or wrong until the end. And then you're going to get points based on how well you do. Very, very clever game. Very, very impressed. And I highly recommend you check it out. Up next, we have Rivals for Catan, Age of Enlightenment. So this is an expansion, as you can see, for Rivals for Catan. Rivals for Catan is the best Catan game I believe there is. It's fantastic. It's only a two-player game, and I highly recommend the expansions as well. And there are a couple of them. So there's Age of Enlightenment, and there's another one that I've played as well. And there's three different things here: Explorers, Sages, and Prosperity. But crucially, if you're going to be playing Rivals for Catan, I highly recommend you check this one out. I'll leave that for now, and you'll see why in a moment. Orléans. So this is an engine building game. I haven't played Orléans Stories. I have played Altiplano, which is also by Rainer Stockhausen. I do have Lübeck, which I've yet to play, still in Shrink, also by Rainer Stockhausen. This particular game has the artwork by Clemens Franz. It's a very beautiful, very nice game, highly commended. And I believe it's, 24th best game of all time. Really cool game. I've only played it once, but loved it when I played it. And I would highly recommend giving this game a go. Very, very interesting, Euro-themed game with a German designer. And yes, you're pulling things out of a bag to decide where you want to go, improving your carts, improving where you're going, and various different ways where you can score. Okay, and here's some examples here. So that particular game, by the way, comes with cardboard pieces like with Altiplano. I highly recommend you get some little pimping, little chits that basically have little capsules and clasps that hold it all together. It's very nice to hold. So I mentioned Time Stories previously. This is the master case. This is, I think, a better case. Not much in the difference, to be honest. You're going to play that base game, and this normally comes with this game anyway, so you're going to play both of them. But in this instance, yes, it's 1992. It's a kind of quite interesting kind of Evil Dead kind of apocalyptic kind of feel. And yes, I can see why they obviously led with a couple of games. And in this particular one, I won't spoil it, but I will say there is a mistake towards the end of the game whereby it says you cannot go through this door, you go through all the cards, and it's a known issue. So if you see a thing saying, sorry, you can't go through it, basically, it's the top of an elevator. It means, well, if you've already got to the top of the elevator, you can go through. So I don't know the ending to this game, unfortunately. Thebes. I really was impressed by this, I think it's a Hungarian restaurateur or waiter happened to show me this particular game. So much and so, in fact, and I have actually been to some Egyptian-themed places, that I've actually since bought Thebes the Tomb Raiders. So this is a narrowed-down version of Thebes, and I'm just going to go and open up some pictures to show what it looks like. Very cool game. Michael Menzel, one of the best artists of all time, he did Legends of Andor. And in this particular one, yes, there's very clever mechanisms involving a time track, whereby you're looking to basically go out and spend some time, uncovering some artifacts and trying to get, set collections and points. Now the points itself, I don't always like, and here are this time tracks. You're going around spending time, going to various locations, and as you can see, you can bounce between, obviously, Mesopotamia and various other locations. but each time you go there, you're going to have to spend some points, spend some time to do it. This is a fantastic idea. I haven't seen it many games, obviously Anachrony has it, but it's one that I highly recommend. Tom Vassell mentioned obviously the more narrowed down version. My copy is still in shrink, and there's not much of a difference. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it without the map, but we'll see. I like point-to-point games. So this is Thebes, the two ranges. As you can see, not much of a difference between the two ratings. I think it's because more people have played Thebes, and that's why, if they haven't played the other one, as you can see, it's a fraction, a tenth have played it. But I highly recommend checking this one out. So let's crack on. And we have Hanabi, an awesome cooperative game here. Very, very cool, very cleverly done by Anton Bowser, fantastic Anton Bowser. This particular one has this Japanese theme game, so Hanabi means fireworks. And what you're looking to do is you never look at your own cards. It's a classic mistake when people have a hand of cards and look at them. You do not look at them. Other people will be looking at your cards, and you're looking to play out cards in sequential order from 1 to 5. And ideally, if someone else has played a 1, you can play a 2 on top of that. But you cannot play a 3 yet. If you do that, you discard it, and basically you're setting the fuse up to basically set up your fireworks too soon. So you're trying to get a maximum score of 25, and I have achieved that. But I've only achieved it on Board Game Arena, which is a fantastic implementation. And yes, I highly recommend checking this out. There are other versions of Hanabi, which I've played too, in a metal tin box and stuff like that. Used to own it. I know enough people have it now that I haven't needed to keep hold of it. But it's a very cool game, and it's great at all player counts. So I mentioned Rise of Catan. So this is a really cool game, as I said, using dice, but you're hardly using them at all. It's just to give you a resource. And based on where you go, it's going to say, right, well, from now on, I can trade sheep 2 to 1. To do that, you need a sheep and you need a wood. These resources do not generate anyway directly from your dice, though. And actually, these dice will give you different things, like it'll give you a free resource or something special. You can have these basic card sets as well. It comes with different sets you can use, such as gold. Very, very cool, very impressive. It's a fantastic game. And I think it has been nominated for quite a few number of things as well. If it hasn't, it should have been. Yes. Well, I can't see it there. This is Klaus Teuber, the designer. He's made over 40 Catans. He had it, I think, a few years in development. That's quite a nice thing there. And for some reason, we've lost Klaus Teuber, who I did see at Essen in 2018. So, yeah, he's definitely an up-and-coming designer. He will be mentioned again, actually, in this video, just to let you know. There's a little sneak peek. So in addition to seeing a picture of him here, he's also, there's some Easter eggs going on there as well. So up next, Viticulture Essential Edition. Now, I do like Viticulture. I don't love it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 game. I feel that the way you're having to use wine, and I've got a distinction on wine tasting of levels 1 and 2, so I know quite a lot about when I'm talking about wine, and it does a great job, a very good theme. I feel, though, that from a worker placement perspective, which this game is, and I haven't played it solo, looks beautiful, as all the all these Stonemaier games are. This looks fantastic too. They've pimped this out a bit too. Where you're going, it works well. Having said that, sometimes you can be left not doing much in a little way, but there's a specific expansion called Visitors Rhine Valley, which is really good. That is whereby you've always got something to do, you can burn some cards, and it kind of takes away from the theme a little bit, but at the same time I think it works very effectively. Once again, fantastic components, and the gameplay is fine. I have played the Tuscany as well, obviously played base Viticulture. There's a lot going on here, and again, an 8 out of 10 is a solid rating. I've always played drinking wine, and the reason why I haven't played it that much is because I've logged plays against other versions of Viticulture. Very highly rated, and of course, if you're looking for a gorgeous looking game, that is why I think it's so high and why so many people have got it. Also being, I believe, it wasn't a Kickstarter game actually, but people know what they're looking for in this, and obviously it implements this one, which it took away things such as mamas and papas, but as you can see, very highly rated too. But there's a few things I really liked about that original, about what it's doing. Okay, so that's very cool. And on to Back to Time Story. So this is the 5th one in the series. This one is often a ship, basically a big ice ship, an icebreaker. It says 4th, it's the 5th scenario, yeah. Which is basically, it's been embedded into the side of this big glacier in Antarctica. And yeah, you're trying to deal with various things. I had a kind of Sherlock Holmesy feel for it to me in terms of being aware of things and not going back in time, but being conscious of some things too. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Not much more I can say other than that, otherwise it spoils it. It does involve a time track again, so this is where you have typically 33 points, and you're trying to, obviously, or 30 in this instance, you're trying to not lose and go down to 0, actually no, 60. So various different locations you could go to. If you've gone to a certain location, do you want to be going somewhere else? And it's just something to be aware of. Okay, so very cool, nice interesting thing. I still find, I don't know why, it just looks like they could have done a better job. I feel that when you're having these cards, I mean, this looks great, but having all this other stuff, I'm not sure. On to Tiato, City of Gods. So this is the second in the T series after Tzolk'in, but this one's actually not by NSK Games, or it is now, and Board and Dice as it now is. The other one was by CGE, so that was Czech Games Edition. Whereas this one has also been followed up with Tenkanu straight after, as well as Tawatanitsu. And so in this instance, it's the same designer as Tzolk'in, which is Daniel Tassini, who's done other great games, one of which we'll be probably playing very soon this week or month. And yeah, there's not much of a difference. I do like the rondelli effect that you get in Tzolk'in. It looks very overwhelming. The scores are relatively close. I think I slightly preferred Tzolk'in. Obviously, there's a lot going on this board, lots of places you can go, and there's a kind of rondelli feel too because you're moving around different locations. Very, very keen to play it again. I know someone who's got the expansions, and I look forward to obviously trying out those too, and hopefully give you a video. So up next we have, I mentioned Sherlock Holmes before, Jack the Ripper and the West End Adventures. As you can see, I haven't played the Jack the Ripper yet. I've played the other 6. Very cool. The reason I rate this slightly higher is I felt, having since played the original, maybe just the excellent game I was playing with, we actually managed to get a score better than Sherlock, which sounded unbelievable. Like I've never really heard that happen before. About 110 points, 105. So yeah, we really dialed in really well. Very, very impressed. Not much more to say. It's the same kind of premise as playing Sherlock. You're going to go to various locations. You're looking at those newspapers. I think dealing with 6 is good. Did not spot that one there. Maybe that's the Jack the Ripper side. But yes, you're looking to go to for certain things. You know, what in this picture could be of use. Could you use a picture twice, and then obviously decide. You know, is this relevant to the case, and can we do something? Is there something subtle? The trouble is they can be too subtle. Interestingly, Sherlock appears now. This is now up to playing Unlock Heroic Adventures. And of these ones, I felt the Sherlock story a bit the weakest of the lot. I felt when I first played it, the first one I played was actually this one, I think called Coin Up. Incredible. In fact, I think we actually played it twice because very similar to, there's not really a spoiler. In reality, when you do play video games, there's normally a cheat. We actually cheated and somehow actually ended up at the last level. And I think we still won, but we thought this felt a bit weird. So we managed to play the whole thing again properly. And it's all to do with a kind of Easter egg maybe from Mario. This was interesting, playing the case over here, which is Alice in Wonderland. It was fine, but in fact I know David Neal, who actually gave me a game, who designed this one as well. So he's really into his Sherlock games. I'll just bring him up and look into some other bits. Same designers for other bits too. Cyril's very popular over here. He's very into his unlocks. Nice, cool ideas. Again, I've played a lot of unlocks, and this is particularly where I rank this one here. So as you're going along, doing various things, nice thoughts. I told you he loves his Sherlock, and this is the game I've also got. So you can check out my video on that. And I did think he had another one in production. So there it is. This one he was going to get to me if he can find it. So yes, it has come out. I don't know where you can buy it from. Let's have a look. Probably just buy it directly. Oh, make it interesting. Alright, so here we go. This is Unlock. As I said, he's done a number of them. And up next, 10 and Taxis. This won the SPIEL.digital 2006. So that's the best, most prestigious game award there is in the world. Basically relating to ease of teach, suitable for families, not too long to play, and yeah, enjoyable and fun. So in this instance, I got this game because even though it's Turn and Taxis or Turn und Taxis, it's now on Board Game Arena. It had 30,000 plays in that first month. I have since played it on there. It's very good. no minor quibbles, but not really anything important to talk about. I look forward to actually bringing you a video for this. I haven't done a video yet, so please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, let me know you're enjoying the video, add any comments and I'll reply, and check out the description. So this is a route building game. It's very similar to Ticket to Ride in a way, but involves area control. As you can see over here, you can lay a route, say 1, 2, 3 destination cards. You can then choose to build a city or to postal locations in 2 things in different regions. As you can see, there's a lighter colour and a darker colour here. Or you could place them in all 3 if they're all in one location. So the set collection, network route building, hand management, card drafting. You have a hand limit, and you have to be aware that once you start a route, you have to discard it if you want to go somewhere else. Steam time. Now, Kev, who owns Tiato, I always used to think it's called Steam of Time. Rutger Dorn, he sounds like he's a great designer, or a popular designer. There's only a couple of 3 of his games that I've played. This is a really, really good game, and it's very cheap to get hold of. In the UK, it's been £15 in the works. And it's a worker placement game, modular boards, involves time again. There's lots of time travel in this particular session. And what you're doing is you're moving up this very bright, overly bright board. And apologies for the lag on the internet. And what you're doing here is you're looking to go to various locations and pick something, and it'll let you improve something on your board. And when you improve it, it allows you to then do something else. Maybe go backwards, maybe improve where you are. So it's a very clever idea. Unfortunately, these pictures don't look particularly compelling. And it's a shame there's so few pictures out there. Hoping I can maybe get a video out. But yeah, the theme means absolutely nothing, realistically. And apologies I can't bring you more. It seems to be that showing decent images isn't a thing on here. Let's see if there's something here. That looks like a nice picture. Okay, so let's see if we can get in a bit more detail. No, oh dear. Right, so you have various places you can go. You can't go back once you've gone up. And if I go somewhere like this, I can block you. You need various crystals to unlock various things. So you're building up crystals you have to afford you to either get a tail to your engine in the steampunk universe, or maybe improve elsewhere. There he is, and yeah, here are some of the games he's done. Istanbul, it's a very, very popular game. Las Vegas, Luxor, Montana. Yeah, he's done some pretty hefty games. Istanbul Dice played as well, and this also was the Kennerspiel winner as well. Grand Austria Hotel. So we talked about these designers earlier. So these Italian designers work a lot with Daniel Tassini. Also Clemens Franz does the art again. So my favourite artist, one of my favourite artists, as you can see, lovely picture. And this is a game I prefer pretty much only of the 2 because of the downtime. The last time I played it, unfortunately, my ratings dropped quite a bit because, even though it's still very high, because I had bad dice rolls on every single turn of the 7 rounds. Now I will be playing with some expansion pimped out pieces rather than paying to get the expansion itself. So these pieces were £23, which is pretty much the same price as the expansion. And what they do is they just change up from the classic small cubes that you get with the game. And I think this is, yeah, pieces like this, to be honest. And what you'll be doing in this particular game is you're looking to get people into your hotel, and those are guests, and you're trying to give them food, give them strudels and wine and various different things here, and it allows you then to send them off from the kitchen to get these orders completed, and then let someone go into a red room. You can go into blue room, yellow room, and anyone is basically can go into a green room. Your money is very tight in this game as well, and you're trying to ultimately get the most points based on points on the cards, points in the rooms, and various other bonuses. So lots to be considering. There's an Emperor track too, where you have individual and modular things to try and complete. So there's a lot going on in this game, hence the rating in terms of complexity is around that 3.3 zone. Okay, it's 90th best game of all time. It kind of has gone under the radar, but still 12,000 plus is obviously still pretty high up there, and lots of people have actually picked up this game via Kickstarter. It brought in about $400,000. Cool, right, so let's crack on to the next one. We have Mintworks, a tiny tin game, like a mint tin, very clever idea, very straightforward game. Nice gameplay, it's a worker placement game, fantastic worker placement game in 10 to 20 minutes. It works well solo, I like it as well at all player counts. Not particularly deep, there's only about 7 or 8 turns, so it's not really high up there in terms of rating for me. but I just like the concept, and to play a game in 20 minutes with something which is pretty easy to teach, I think it's pretty effective. I think they've done a great job. There's also, and here we go, look at that, you can play it literally on a plane seat. That's exactly what you want to be seeing. In addition to that, on Eurowings, in fact, which looks like pretty tiny seats, I've been there once. You can also play, there's other expansions, there's Mint Control, which is a separate game, there's Mint Delivery, which I have, and I still haven't opened yet. Still very happy to have this one. The hinge seems to be going quite quickly, and there's a typo on the back of the thing, which I've told him about. On this particular game, Mint works. So, Push. A push a luck game, funny enough, and one of my most watched videos on YouTube. So check out, type in Push space AmassGames, and you'll be able to see that. And in this particular game, you're looking to try and get as many points as you can, but watch out, don't go too far. Basically, it's the premise of the game, and it has a very classic Uno kind of look, very retro. It might not appeal to many people, but Ravensburg have gone what they're doing. Very low amounts of ratings, and if we just look into all-time plays, it's a fair amount, to be honest. It's a new game, and yet it's still managing to notch up those views. But who knows if it's going to reach wider distribution. This was launched obviously a few years ago now, and it just seems to have just gone. Sophia and Miranda, this is of all the games in this particular session, they are all at least rated 6. It's probably the lowest on the ones on there. The reason I've held on and kept this game is it's very similar to the game Hansa Teutonica, but it's slightly lighter to play. It plays fine as a 2. I haven't played it with more players. I'd love to play it with more players. It just unlocks more of the board. And interesting, not exactly fiddly, but interesting Roman signs you can put up. But it's very similar to Ticket to Ride, but you can try to control areas. So it's very similar to that game I mentioned before, Turn and Taxis. It fits in a similar boat to it, and I just feel that they're both worthy games, and I like to keep both currently. Different coloured cards like Turn and Taxis, different locations. You're scoring based on which parts of your connections you're building up to. So if you're, say, red, you have to build out from one of your castles like this, and then if you happen to completely connect it up, you get to take one of those points. So you take 3 points. Now, something to be aware of is if you, so in this instance this is being blocked off, I think. If you happen to be having the majority, so green has got 2, imagine there were 3 spaces left, whoever has the 3, they take it. So there's a few things to be aware of. You're trying to obviously take majority on these points, you don't want to be going the whole way yourself, but it's something to be aware of, where do you want to go before someone else gets there first and stops other people from going there. Showtime, actually this is the lowest one I think. So I really like Showtime. I think it's a game that people will play it with. It takes 10 minutes. It says 20 to 40. Play it, 1 or 2, maybe 3 times. You can easily play this game lots of times. I like films a lot. It's great to have a film-based game, and it's a simple game whereby, take that as a strong word, and it can be a negative. It's not that damaging, to be honest. Yes, you're trying to sneak in and get the best seat in the cinema. It's very humorous, and you're trying to get, obviously, this elderly chap who can't hear well. He wants to be at the front of the cinema to get most points, and so basically you're going to get points based on where you're sat. The best points are here and here, in this instance, based on how they've laid out their boards. And this guy's tall, so he's going to make this person sat behind lose some points. This person likes a certain type of film, so we're watching a romance here, so she's going to score some extra points as well. These guys want to be sat together, and we have other people, such as he's like itching and scratching, and he's going to put off people next to him. So it's a very, very clever idea. I think it's a really great game by Viticulture. I don't know, I can't really fault it. I'm curious to see what the comments state. Let's have a quick look and just see why is it people are. Give us some reasons, guys. Come on, tell me why don't you like it. Only 38 comments. So what are they saying? No, nice artwork, permanent scoring, checking. Oh yeah, you do have to check the scoring, but it's fine. It's a 3-round game. So here we go. Some people don't seem to like it, but some people just want to have fun. I liked it. I can see why they're saying sexist, but I don't think it's like that. Yeah, it's more fun than expected. Loads of I play again. Well, there we go. It depends. I think some of these people, if they do play a second time, there's lots of games I've only played once, but I think when you own a game, you just play it more, and I think you can appreciate it more without wanting to justify why it's a good game. So this is a game I've mentioned before whereby I played it before it came out. I was professionally demonstrating this when it was a prototype. It just said under construction on the box at the Tabletop Gaming Live in 2018. So I played it 4 months before it came out, and then I was going, wow, where can I get it? I said, you'll just have to look it up. It did win SPIEL.digital, and as much as I like it, I have lowered my rating from a 9 because I can play it once, maybe twice, but it isn't a game I want to play more than that in a day. I just feel I'm quite exhausted trying to rack my brain as to think about stuff. So I think it's dipped a bit in terms of rating as well. But basically, you're all trying to give a different word, so all the words collectively will help you guess what word you're looking to get. So in this case, they've got various word intersection, and you're trying to guess cross, maybe? I'm going to guess. I don't know. Spanish is my first language. But yeah, you're trying to deal with that. Now, I find it works best with multi-generations, because everyone will have a different interpretation. Perudo. So this is really popular on my YouTube channel to watch. Lots and lots of views every single month. It's always up there as pretty much one of the most watched games. I happen to do really well. The first 2 times I played it, I got a maximum score of 5. I happen to just, I know people played with it or whatever. But then as you play with more people, they kind of pick on you and stuff. So it's a very interesting gambling kind of game whereby you're chucking down dice. You're trying to you're hiding that result, and you're trying to say, okay, you've bid a 2, I'll bid a 3. Someone else bids a 4, and what you're doing is they're saying 4 fours, say, and then someone else says, I think there are 5 fours. Someone says there are 6 fours. Someone says there are 6 fives, and then collectively there's 5 of you, say. Someone says, I don't think we have all that. Lift up your cups, and everyone reveals 5s or a 1 5, 0 5s, some 5s, and if you have enough, great. The person who called you out, they'll lose a die. If not, you lose a die, and you go now from 5 down to eventually 0 dice. And there are different variants you can play on it too. Very fun game. Perudo, AK Liar's Dice, around the 1800s, and this is, I think, a Chilean game. So yeah, South American game basically, Andean game, I believe. So yeah, very popular. Interesting versions, lots of versions out there. Crown of Amara. So this is another Pegasus Spieler game. This is one of the worst boxes, I feel. I mean, once you've played the game, it makes sense, but it just does not appeal to me, the box. But fantastic designer. He's done a few other games since then. This has like a double rondelle. So we talked about rondelle earlier. And this is a double rondelle whereby you're using resources, and then you're choosing between either getting more resources or converting it to maybe getting some victory points by choosing to go from the countryside to the city and building or hiring some merchants, which will give you some victory points. You're going to get either people points or building points, and whichever is the lowest of the 2 is going to be your final score. You can get points based on the dukedom as well. Beautiful artwork. So you have this on the colourful side, you have it more on the illustrator side. What I mean by that is it shows you the symbols a bit more clearly. I've played on both sides. You can actually mix and match these boards, which I've done. I highly recommend the promos you can get. I ended up buying too many. So you can get these promos, which are £6 on eBay, or even on the Geek Store, I sell them there too, and they're cheaper than anyone else sells them for. Another game designed or artist by Dennis Lockhausen, who did Fields of Arla. We'll go into him in a second. Highly recommend the game. It's kind of gone under the radar, didn't win anything, but yeah, I think hopefully some of these stats will hopefully catch up. I played 17 plays. I doubt that's anywhere near the top anymore because I've just been playing so many other games recently. But I'm not far off. I'm only just down there, so I think I'm going to catch up, potentially. So here we go, Fields of Arla. Beautiful game that he's done the artist for. He did Quacks as well. Look at these. He's really prolific designer. He's probably done the most. Really incredible. I just went steampunk. Okay, Wacky Wacky West. So I talked about Klaus Teuber earlier. This came out before then, and it did win SPIEL.digital then. So it won the 3rd best game by Deutsche Spielpreis, which is basically a bit more of a connoisseur's version on SPIEL.digital. And in this particular game, you are basically these crazy people in this old west, and are trying to not have your town destroyed. But to do that, you need to start laying out water and routes and stuff like that, and trying to reach various destinations. In this case, got Lego pieces, which is really, really, really cool, and reach various destinations. Now, some of these destinations you want to get to, if they are, I don't know, you're the red player, you're trying to reach here and trying to get some points by getting there. sometimes you don't want to go places such as yellow, so you don't want to go there either. So it's a very cool way of saying like, I do want to go there, I don't want to go there, and outthinking your opponents. Very clever idea. And yeah, I think it has been re-implemented. I've got the German edition. It makes no difference. It's just a bit of difference in text, but it's marginal and it's a lot of fun. So I have the Dortmund edition. Power Grid. So yeah, I love Power Grid. Obviously, Freedom and Freeze. We've talked about him already in early videos. And obviously, all his games are green. So Funkenschlager is basically the German name for Power Grid. And in this particular edition, it's obviously Australia, for example, I've played. And as per other power grids, sometimes there's like a bottleneck. So I happen to, I think, build up in the Great Barrier Reef and block someone off and then take over down here. Still very, very close game. This auction bidding game, network route building game, 18, 17, 16. I mean, it's a close scoring game. It's a slight brain burnery Euro game. It just happens to click for me. I'm not saying it clicks for others, but Power Grid is definitely something people should all be playing. It's very, very highly rated. Power Grid has been up there as high as, I don't know, I want to say potentially the top 10 of Board Game Geek of all time. Not certain on that. So unlock Mystery Adventures. This was one of the first 3 different unlocks I ever played, and I actually happened to play, I think, the House on the Haunted Hill last. Nautilus Traps, the medium difficulty, and then this one here is Top Hal's Treasure. Now, in the first 3 sets of boxes, there's a way in which ideally play the other 2 sets first, then play this one, playing this one last, because not exactly a spoiler, but once you complete the game, this is not a spoiler, but you should have found a website. There's a website. If you don't, let me know in the comments, because basically there's an extra unlock. Okay? So, very interesting game. Nautilus Traps, really thematic, very good gasping for air moments and stuff, very good sound effects, as per many of these other apps that they have for unlock. So, highly recommend this set. House on the Haunted Hill was a nice entrance as well. And yeah, that is what I prefer over other games. So thank you very much for watching. That's all of it so far. I look forward to bringing you, breaking it down into 100 to 91, so bunch the 10s from now on. And yeah, speak to you again very soon. All the best. Bye for now.